So you want to travel to Japan, but you're scared of all the rules. You don't want to mess up and embarrass yourself. Good, thank you. You're already ahead of most tourists I see on the street just by clicking on this video. I have been living in Japan for many years now. I've done a lot of work in tourism, this channel. So this video is meant to be a helpful guide. Do you need to follow everything I say in this video 100%? No. No, you don't. Don't think that you can't come to Japan unless you like pre-study all these rules. You certainly don't need to do that, but a little goes a long way. Trust me. And you know, at the end of the day, you're a tourist and everyone knows that and understands that there is no way you will know every single Japanese cultural nuance there is, okay? Some of these tips, however, are gonna be super easy to implement. Some of them are just knowledge to have in the back of your mind. You don't need to think about them ever again after this video. You'll be good. Honestly, I could summarize the video right now. Just be courteous. That's it. That's all you need to do. Be a good person. And yet that alone is more than most people are capable of. Tip number 1, be courteous. This one tip is basically gonna encompass like half the things I say in this video, but it's the most important and it's the hardest to grasp for some people. So what do I actually mean by being courteous? Be aware of your surroundings and try not to cause trouble for other people. This is very important in Japanese like culture, mannerisms, whatever. What does this actually mean though? So basically, always look around you and be aware of how your individual actions may affect the people around you. Okay, I feel like I'm a kindergarten teacher, but just try not to be in people's way. Try not to cause other people discomfort and just try not to negatively impact the people around you. This will be reflected in the rest of these tips, like don't be loud. Especially on trains. Americans. I know this tip is like in every freaking video you probably see on YouTube, but you know, we have to keep saying it because I keep seeing it every day almost. Stop talking loudly on trains, please. Especially on Japanese weekday trains. They can be just dead silent, like absolute no noise because people are just commuting alone and they're dead inside. On weekends, people do talk on the train. And look, regardless of what train you're on, yeah, you can talk to your friend or whatever. Just be courteous. Whisper, low voices. Don't use your outside voice. I occasionally see like tourists like literally yell across the train to each other because they're like sitting in different seats or whatever. It's like, oh my God, shut up. What are you doing? You know, if I end up sitting separately from my friend, you know what I do? I message them on my phone. Next, don't spread out both your group and your luggage. So recently something went like viral on Japanese Twitter where like a bunch of tourists, I guess, were like taking up the whole train car space with like all their luggage. Obviously don't do that. I don't know why I need to say this. Like, why do people do this? If you really have like a lot of luggage, take a taxi or send it ahead with like a luggage forwarding system like Yamato, which I talk about a lot in other videos. You can bring a suitcase or two on the train, don't get me wrong. You can totally do that. Maybe not at rush hour. Not at rush hour. But yeah, basically you just need to be aware of the space you're taking up. Like if you're walking on a narrow sidewalk, don't walk 3 people across in your group and not let anyone else get by you. Like, I feel like this is common sense, but people don't do it. Next, don't wear shoes indoors. Yeah, you probably heard this one by now. I know. Hold on. So how does this actually apply to you though? Because like you're probably not going to be at some Japanese person's house, right? So basically, general rules is if you are going into a traditional Japanese style building, a temple or a Japanese restaurant, for example, you will be expected to take your shoes off. Don't try to get out of it. Take your shoes off. Also for hotels, actually most Japanese people will take their shoes off when they enter the hotel room, even if it's like a small business hotel room. Like they'll take off their shoes at the entrance and then switch into the room slippers. I don't think most tourists do this and there's like no enforcement of this and it's not really a rule, so you don't need to, in my opinion. I don't know. Like unless it says to, then do it. But yeah, if you see an obvious shoe area anywhere you go, take your shoes off. There is an exception for hotels, and that is if you are going to be staying at a Japanese inn or a ryokan, you're gonna have to take your shoes off either at the entrance to your room or sometimes even at the entrance of the whole hotel building. Next, do not expect to rely on public Wi-Fi. Now, compared to 10 years ago, yes, Wi-Fi in Japan, much better. Don't get me wrong, but it's still slow. It still kind of sucks. And it's basically all captive, which means you need to like log in every single time you use it. And it's really annoying, but you definitely need to make sure that you have access to the internet at all times on your phone. And that is where Saily, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. So if you don't know already, Saily is a new eSIM service app brought to you by Nord Security. And eSIMs like Saily let you access the internet while you're traveling, so you don't have to rely on these really bad public Wi-Fi networks, because getting a travel eSIM like Saily just lets you connect automatically to the local cell towers. So you can access the internet, you can use your maps, you can use the translation apps. You will be set. I actually used Saily for about a month myself in Japan, and it was better than my normal cell phone provider. So take from that what you will. And look, Saily is really easy to use and install. All you need is your cell phone. So first you're going to download the app, which you can do through this QR code right here on the screen. And then you're going to select the country you're going to be traveling to. They have nearly 200 countries to choose from, so chances are wherever you're going is here. And then just choose how much data you want. So all you have to do after that is just hit install on your phone and make sure you activate it before you travel to your destination. So then once you land, it's just going to automatically connect. You don't have to do anything. It's really that easy, guys. It really is. So if you are interested and want to try it out for yourself, make sure that when you go to buy your eSIM, you use my code Allison in Tokyo at checkout. Get 15% off of your first purchase, or download Saily through my link at saily.com/Allison in Tokyo. Thank you, Saily. Next, don't just enter a fitting room. So you go to a store, you want to try on clothes. Don't just walk into the fitting room. Usually you need to ask a staff member first. Usually, not always, but then very, very important. I see tourists mess this up every single time I go to like a Uniqlo in Shibuya or something. Every time. You must take off your shoes before you go into the fitting room. Usually fitting rooms here are going to be like kind of elevated, like raised off the floor a bit like this. And if it is, there's like almost 100% chance you're going to need to take your shoes off. Or if there's like a carpet in there, take your shoes off. There are some exceptions, like H&M here does not care, but I'd say the majority of stores here take off your shoes. Also, for women, many places will also hand you a face cover. You put it on over your head and it'll like cover your face like this. And this is so that when you put on like a shirt, for example, your makeup is not going to transfer onto the clothes. Be nice. Next, don't visit a temple or a shrine without being respectful. Okay, this is the hardest thing on the list, you guys, because honestly, I don't know all the rules. And frankly, you don't need to follow all the rules, because there's like so many and they're not obvious at all. You know, when in doubt, just follow what Japanese people around you are doing. This applies to anything. But basically, there's a few highlights I will mention. One, don't walk through the middle of the torii gate. The middle is actually reserved for deities to walk through, and us mortals are meant to walk through the sides of the gate. So you're probably gonna see people there doing that. Another is you're supposed to cleanse your like body at the water basin. So you don't actually need to do this for every single temple or shrine you go to. And not everyone does at the majority of shrines and temples. There are a few that like are very strict about it, but the majority. Just follow what everyone else is doing. Just see if everyone else is going to the water basin thing or not. So basically you're supposed to like cleanse your body of impurities before you approach the like worshipping area. It's tradition. I don't know. Just do it to show respect. You don't need to understand it. So what you actually do is there's going to be ladles. You take the ladle and basically you use it to pour water over each of your hands and then into one of your hands, and then you wash your mouth like this and like you spit it into the rocky area, not the water basin. Don't spit back into the water basin. I think someone just went viral over this. Yeah, look, it's like a specific order actually and everything, so I just Google it before you do it, because it's fine if you don't remember it. It's fine. Lastly, the hardest one, because I literally lived here for years and I cannot remember the order, but there is a correct order that you pray at the shrine itself. So like you throw in money into the like prayer bin money box thing, I don't know what it's called, ideally a 5 yen coin, and then there is a specific number and order of like clapping, bowing, and then ringing the bell thing. And I Google it every single time I do it because I just can't remember the order. So just Google it. Just Google it. It's fine. Honestly, a lot of like these tourist shrines now have like guides posted for all of the stuff I've just said, so you could just read it if it's there. Next, don't tip. Don't you dare bring tipping culture into Japan. I will end you. So Americans, stop asking me if it's okay if you especially tip your hairdresser or your waiter or whatever because they were so awesome. The answer is no. You do not tip in Japan. ever. It is insulting to them, and most places just will not allow them to accept it. So don't try to do it sneakily or whatever. Don't do it. There's a tip jar or something, you know, that's fine. And then sometimes tour guides, but that's it. Seriously, that's it. Don't do it. And don't jaywalk. This is a big thing here. At most crosswalks, even if there's no cars at all, people will wait till the signal turns green. That being said, there's some crosswalks in Tokyo, especially where people just do not care. For some reason, everyone has just agreed that we don't respect certain lights. I don't know. Just follow what the people around you do, and when in doubt, just don't do it. Don't eat or drink on trains or while walking. It's probably something you've seen online a lot, but it's not really that strict anymore, okay? The internet is actually pretty outdated on this one. Like, you can have a sip of your water on the train if you're thirsty. Nobody cares. And people do walk around like holding iced coffee now. Is it to the same extent that people do this in like America, for example? No. And there's still some areas where you shouldn't. But like generally on the street, people do it. You should be a little bit more careful with eating. Do not eat on like the local normal trains that just run around the city. But for basically all long distance trains, you know, bullet trains, you 100% can eat and you should eat. It's like kind of a cultural thing that is encouraged. You should eat on the Shinkansen. And there's also some areas in town, like say streets in Asakusa, where there's just a bunch of stalls with no seating. You can carry around the strawberries or whatever on the stick and eat it. It's fine. I will say that Japanese people tend to just kind of stand in one area until they finish it, but you can walk, it's fine. However, a lot of stores do ban bringing in drinks and food, so just note that if you're trying to shop. But like, yeah, if you're just on the street, it's fine, guys. Seriously. Don't expect to pay at your table at a restaurant. So most restaurants, they're either gonna leave the slip on your table or you need to call over the waiter to get the slip. And then you take this slip up to the front register and you pay there. I'd say this is the most common style of payment. There are, however, some restaurants where you do pay at your table. Fancier restaurants, you will probably pay at your table, but it just depends. However, don't just hand over your money directly to the cashier. So restaurant or store, there will probably be a tray where you are meant to place in your money if you're paying with cash. Handing money directly is kind of seen as like too direct. It's like rude. So always look for the tray. Lastly, don't expect your children to be able to just do whatever they want, unless you want your kid to get some really freaking dirty looks. Guys, I see so many tourists here who kind of just let their kids do whatever they want, like screaming, running around, even swinging on the train sometimes, like by those hand things. Like, oh my God. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean you get to be on vacation from parenting if you're bringing your kids. I'm not a parent myself, so I know what right do I have to say this, but oh my God, just aren't you embarrassed? Japanese children are in general very well behaved if they are outside, because if they're not, their parents will discipline them. Please just be aware of your children is what I'm asking. And don't expect people to like treat you like preferentially because you have kids. The society here doesn't really, I don't know how to phrase it. Like it doesn't really like reward people for having kids or being like, oh my gosh, children have the right of way. You should go first. You know, that kind of thing. They don't really do that here. Maybe that's why there's a low birth rate. I don't know. Yeah, those are my tips. I'm sure there's more, but I have to cut the video off somewhere. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video if you learned anything new and leave a comment down below. Let me know what tip you found interesting or if you have any other advice for people. Seriously, just leave it down below. It's fine. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos about traveling in Japan and my life here in Japan in the future. I'll see you guys back here again soon. Bye!